What does he shift into?
A wolf.
Oh, okay.
Was that meant to be a joke? Or
No!
Oh my god.
I'm trying to be nice about this book after denigrating its time travel plotline.
Alrighty!
For my autumn TBR, I have an ambitious 6 books. Whether I'll get through that or not, who knows. So I'm gonna start with the ones I have the physical copies of. So the first one is The Perfect Nanny by Leila Slimani. Apologies if that's not the right pronunciation. I picked this up when I was in Portland at Powell's Book. Very, very cool bookstore. Really cool. So this is one of the books I picked up. It was actually used, which I'm noticing here, and was only like 10 bucks, but really good condition. Look at that. So The Perfect Nanny is basically about a family who lives in Paris and they get a nanny and she's amazing. But it's a thriller, so there's something's gonna go on. I don't know, I haven't read it yet, that's the point. Very excited to read that. It's nice and short as well, so that should be like a weekend type of book. The next I've had on my shelf for a while, I don't actually know if I picked this up or my partner did, but it is the Raqqa Diaries, Escape from Islamic State by Sama, but also by, it should be in here somewhere. Sama, it's been translated and then edited by 2 guys who, edited by Mike Thompson, who's a BBC correspondent, and translated by Nada Ibrahim. So, you know, for a book like this, which has been translated into English, they're quite an important part of the book as well. But basically, this is the diary of a guy who got out of Syria and escaped from Islamic State, as it says. This is, so it's technically non-fiction, but it's in like diary form. So from what I know, it's still quite narrative-like, because it's a true story. It's got also really cool illustrations throughout it. So I'm very keen. I personally find things like Syria and like those really complex situations, I prefer to learn about them through books like this rather than like reading a bunch of BBC news articles. So yeah, I'm very keen to do that. Probably quite a sobering read. My next one is Tell Me Lies by JP Pomare. So this is, I think, his latest book out. No, I don't think it is. That's a lie. This I picked up recently. He has had some other books out, like The Wrong Woman, which did really well, but like the story just didn't attract me that much. This one definitely did way more. I picked this up because I really liked the blurb on the back. Can I read it? It's a good blurb.
You can read the blurb.
I'm gonna read the blurb, okay.
I'm so anti-blurb, but you can read it. Of course you can, it's your team. Psychologist Margot Scott has a picture-perfect life, nice house in the suburbs, husband, 2 children, and a successful career. On a warm spring morning, she approaches one of her clients on a busy train platform. As the train approaches, she slams into his back and he falls into the path of the front carriage as it hurtles down the tracks. Margot's clients don't always tell the truth, but now one lie could cost her the ultimate price, her family and freedom. What? So I don't know what the book's about, because that is a very vague blurb, but like, I am hooked. So that's great marketing.
Great marketing.
I'm sold on that. Now
See?
I want to know.
Exactly. See, some blurbs are good. I think that's a great blurb. That's why I want to read that out.
Yeah, this is the problem. Too many blurbs give away the story, and you don't want that. You want them to give a question, and you're like, bro, I need the answer.
Exactly. So yeah, that one I liked. Pretty excited for that too. One very have had multiple. Oh, what?
Yeah, go. No.
Have had seen multiple people recommend this, and whenever I'm in Unity Books, I always see the book. The cover is so eye-catching. So it's Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Kuang. Apologies for pronunciations. So from what I know about Yellowface, it is about a woman who plagiarizes and kind of steals the art of someone who's recently passed.
I have heard mixed comments on this book.
Really?
Yeah.
What sort of mixed comments?
Some people say it's like, I don't know, there's something about the author dealing with racism.
Yeah?
Yeah, some people have said it's like a good representation of stuff, and other people have argued it's not. And I think it's really interesting that people always talk about it as if there is a right way and a wrong way, and I just don't think there is. Like, that's the whole point. Like, everything's so nuanced, which is such a loaded term in itself. I'm not saying that to dismiss stuff as not an issue.
Who is a bunch of people who, I'm assuming a lot of these people with their thoughts, I don't know, are they also Asian American? If you're not, okay, okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, if she's Asian American and she's like, no, this story reflects my experiences.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly, I know.
Yeah, okay. Well then, I'm kind of even more interested to read it. So that is a pretty heavy, in terms of content, TBR. So for my more light, fun books.
Wow.
On the Plus Side by Jenny L. Howe, which someone recommended. Again, actually, I mean, look, I say that this is like a romance, so I'm excited. I think it'll be fun, but it is also about a plus size person. So as a plus size person, I'm like, maybe it will actually be a bit more intense than I'm expecting. What's your thoughts? I can see you got thoughts.
Fine.
No. Come on, what have you heard?
Literally never heard of this book. I just know that the term plus size, I think, is problematic.
Oh, yeah, true.
You're welcome to use it.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's on the plus side. So it's a play on plus side.
They're making, for sure.
It's interesting. I'm excited to see what you think.
Yeah.
If it's
Maybe I said plus size. It's on the plus side. But basically, it's about a big person, and it's a romance.
Cute.
Cool. My last one is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I read her book Ghosted. Is it Ghosted or Ghost? I think it's Ghosts. Really, really liked that book. That was recommended and given to me by a friend. So that's, I'm excited to read something else. I actually think this is more well known than Everything I Know About Love. I haven't, this is...
Look at it, 4.05 on Goodreads.
That's pretty good.
Freaking high.
That's high.
For 257,000 ratings, that's so high.
Yeah. I feel like it is, I'm gonna assume, I think it is talked about a lot. I haven't seen that. I genuinely a lot of how I read books is just if I read a book by an author that I like, I check out what else they've written. So that is what this kind of is. And yeah, it does look like, I have a feeling it is quite, oh shit, it's non-fiction.
Did you not realize that?
Nah, I'm telling you, I was just like, she wrote a great book. Oh. Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know. I really liked her book and it was fiction.
Still on your TBR?
TBC. So yeah, that's my TBR for autumn.
So for my TBR, so I'm going to do my non-fiction first. So first I've got How to Suppress Women's Writing by Joanna Russ. So I'm going to read the little blurb because I thought it was quite good. Are women able to achieve anything they set their minds to? In How to Suppress Women's Writing, novelist and scholar Joanna Russ lays bare the subtle and not so subtle strategies that society uses to ignore, condemn or belittle women who produce literature. Ooh.
Damn.
Yep. As relevant today as when it was first published in 1983. This book has motivated generations of readers with its powerful feminist critique.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it has a really interesting foreword by, can't remember her name, you can put it on the screen, and she's written a book, I Am Not a Feminist. And it's about the limitations of feminism. So it's just all around very interesting. Readers, writers, it's like...
That book's title has not aged well. Now that we're like... Now that we have this era of really young women and girls who are now like, I'm not a feminist, I like to cook.
You don't know what that means. Like, yeah. Then I've got We're on a theme here. I Don't by Clementine Ford, The Case Against Marriage. I love this sitting next to a married woman. And I want to look, this is just like straight up, this is how it freaking starts in the blurb. I want this book to end marriages. Her most controversial book yet. So Clementine Ford is like hardcore feminist. She says, most importantly, I want it to prevent marriages.
True.
As an
For a non-blurby girl.
As an anti-marriage girly, I'm so here for this book. Like, I'm so excited.
As a non-blurby girl though, you're giving me a lot of blurbs.
No, I'm giving you sentences at the start of the blurb, okay? No, and non-fiction's different. Okay, so then we've got Health at Every Size by Linda Bacon. I'm sorry, I had to put it out there. I struggle with that her last name's Bacon. But anyways, fat isn't the problem. Dieting is the problem. Ooh.
Yeah, yes. Duh.
And so the book is just all about what the title is, Health at Every Size. Like, Health at Every Size is a movement, and this is like the book about it and kind of
love that,
how that works. So I thought it was really important to learn more about that. Then I've got We Do This Till We Free Us by, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Mariame Kaba. So she's a freedom scholar, and the book is about social transformation and liberation and abolitionist planning and activism and whatnot.
Love.
So very timely, very timely. And then I've got some fiction books which are just based on my current mood. So we've got Fate and Furies by Helen Scheuerer. Again, I can't say last names. So this is book 3 in an epic fantasy romance. So I'm not going to tell you anything about book 3 because that would be a total spoiler. But you should pick up Blood and Steel, which is the first book.
What's an epic fantasy?
So an epic fantasy is like an urban fantasy is set in something that resembles the world as it is. So like Vampire Diaries could be an urban fantasy. It's like a contemporary world, but there's fantasy elements, right?
Yeah.
And epic fantasy is like, this is like...
There's no human world?
No, it's not no human. It's not Earth as we know it.
It's not Earth.
It's not Earth as we know it.
It's epic.
It's the entire thing from the world up.
It's a different universe.
It's created. A different universe, different realms, different lands.
It's world building.
World building,
bizarre.
It's so good. We follow like your classic badass heroine, and that's all I want to say about it. It's amazing. Then I've got Her Viking Wolf by Theodora Taylor, which is about a time traveling Viking wolf.
I hate time travel. I hate it because it doesn't work, and don't try to explain it to me because it doesn't.
All right, well, we're not concerned about it because he's also a shifter, so shifters also aren't real, so we're not worried about the semantics.
No, it's fine for things to not be real. They just all have to make sense.
That doesn't make any sense. I feel like that's I feel like that's a contradiction. It's okay for things to be real, but they have to make sense.
Well, yeah, in the sense of like the rules, every time travel movie or book, they set up the rules of in what the time travel is, but it never makes sense because it can't. Because if something happens there, that has to have happened there, so it can't have, like it just, they never, some
Agree
can do
to disagree.
It properly.
Agree to
It has to be a closed loop.
See, you're getting way too into it. This is why you're going to struggle with fantasies. You just listen, like you've just got to accept it. You've just got to accept what's given to you by the author, take it as truth, and then run with it from there. And like that's the truth of their reality.
But it has to.
No, it doesn't has to. See, instantly you're going to struggle with fantasy because
it's only time travel. I don't mind other stuff.
But it doesn't have to. Anything.
It's just time travel.
Okay, so Her Viking Wolf by Theodora Taylor. Theodora Taylor is an incredible author. Her books are so immersive and I've read a whole bunch of them. And so I'm really excited because this will be my second shifter series of hers, paranormal series that I'm starting. So this is book 1 in a series.
What does he shift into?
A wolf.
Oh, okay.
Was that meant to be a joke?
No.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to be nice about this book after denigrating its time travel plotline.
Alrighty. Okay, so then we have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. You're gonna struggle with this too. Literally in the blurb, I just read that it was like the dragons went to sleep and then they fossilized and then they like floated up into the sky, and then so the dragons are like fossilized planets in the sky or something, and then I think this is set like when they wake up or something.
That is amazing.
So fucking cool. Don't quote me on it because I can't remember. I read it in the middle of the night, but like this is a big fantasy, but like lots of people that I like their content recommend this, say it's really powerful, good characters, good plot, just sounds so original.
Damn.
Like what the fuck are you talking about? Fossilized dragons?
That sounds amazing.
Moons? Isn't that like cool?
That makes sense. Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah. So then I have Runner by Evie Mitchell, which is a post-apocalypse romance. So I started reading apocalypse romances this year. So fucking good, and I've owned this one for like 2 years now.
You've only started reading them this year?
Apocalypse romance is like, yeah.
Because yeah, that seems like your jam.
It does, but it's like a hard subgenre to find decent storylines in. Like,
oh yeah,
apocalypse romance.
Is it just not? Is there not a lot of people writing it?
Yeah, I don't see a lot of them, and a lot of them they seem like throwaway books. Like they're just books that like people are writing it just to say that it is. You know, like how people are like, what's the word? I don't know how to explain it. Like, I genuinely like it. I think there's so much value in dystopian, but because of the history of dystopian with YA and the popularity of it, so many books were written as dystopian to just be sold, to be marketed. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a genuine love, a genuine
for sure
commitment to what a dystopian is.
Also, writers need to just get used to writing apocalypse romance because the world will soon be, I'm just saying, things are not going well. So like just get...
Contemporary romance becomes just apocalypse. And so the last book I have for my autumn TBR is just like a classic fantasy that's going around at the moment. The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Like,
is that who I'm reading at the moment? That is
who you're reading at the moment. I didn't want to read the series, but I wanted to see what the hype was about. So I actually read her Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, which Emily's currently reading. And that was 5 stars, incredible. So I was like, okay, I'm going to commit to the book. And finally, I think you can actually buy the paperback in New Zealand, which is fabulous. So I'm going to do that.